And the weekend word count is 15! What else do you expect from me on the weekend? Weekend of a week where I actually made most of my weekly goals. I forgot all about my poetry book. I forgot to even tell some people I saw about it that I was meaning to tell them about it and show them the cover. So apparently, as soon as it was Saturday, I just locked that in a vault, shut it all out, no work whatsoever. And so the 15 were on some song files, which, if you notice the title, brings me to the first thing I realized I was wrong about. Earlier, I was like, I'm not a songwriter, not a poetry writer. I'll do them occasionally, maybe, but I'm a story writer. Story writing is my first one, my main one. But as it turns out, I'm more of a songwriter than I realized because I was like listening to a tune and words just started playing in my head that I wanted to write to the tune. And I keep coming up with parodies everywhere I turn around. And ignore my mess of hair, I just washed it. And so I'm more of a songwriter than I thought. So I had to write down some ideas last night. That's where the 15 words came from. And that's not much of a word count. So on to the second thing I turned out to be wrong about. This whole week, I was basically really bored and pretty depressed over. Hang on. My throat is so dry, it's so hard to talk. So I was depressed because I felt like I was just lazy all the time and not hard worker enough. And I was just, at the same time, because I was so upset over it, it was hard to work any harder. So it was like a vicious cycle, really. And then last night, I had this really weird dream that I guess I knew was a dream because I wondered something and it all changed to fit the scenario I wondered about. And through the whole time, I was calling it a dream or an alternate universe. So I guess I knew it was a lucid dream. At the beginning of it, I wondered what my life would be like if I had never been lazy, if I had been a hard worker the entire time like I wished I was. It was horrible. Because I didn't give myself enough breaks, so my writing felt made me feel like I was just losing it. And because I hadn't ever been lazy, I never played very many video games, which means I never got into Sonic, which means I never got into Sonic fan fiction, which is where I became a really got my really good start because I had this story that I was writing off and on, but I couldn't really get anywhere with it. I don't know why. I wasn't really good at being consistent writer yet, and wanting to write comes from doing it in the first place, but I couldn't stay consistent at it, and even though it's a fantasy world, I kept like, oh no, I can't make it, nobody will believe me. If I want to change things, I have to make it super realistic or nobody will buy it. So I guess I didn't really have that much confidence in me or my own writing. Oh, I really didn't now that I think about it. So I just got so tired of it. I didn't know what to do. And I come up with other stories, but they didn't interest me as much as that one. So writing's what I wanted to do, and it's like I really couldn't do it that well. Then I got into Sonic fan fiction, and here was this canon world that would pretty much let you do anything. So I wasn't cheating the rules by adding fan characters who were aliens and having time travel. And all this crazy stuff exists within the Sonic universe, so I didn't have to worry about cheating rules or anything, which really let me write what I wanted to, and since it was just fan fiction that I didn't think anyone would ever read anyways, didn't matter if it was good. I could just throw a whole bunch of stuff into the world, and then um, sorry, my screen darkening. I don't know what that was about. And where was I? So I could just throw all the stuff in the world. Like, I want this to happen, and this, and this, and oh no, my timeline. It doesn't work out right. Time warp! I literally threw a character through time warp just because I found out my timeline. But two different character timelines didn't cross right. So I made one of them to go through time warp. So yeah. But that's where I really got my confidence as a writer, and I got to experiment more, and it became a lot more fun to me, and it was just. And then took what I learned, put it back to my first story that I really wanted to write, and not my first story ever. I'm gonna talk about those, but the first one made me really want to write it, and realized I can do what I want with this story a little bit more. It should be a little weird in some places, like it should be its own world. What I mean, and a few things about the characters might be cliched, like one's a rebel princess, but then play up what's not cliched about her. Make her. There was a really weird sound out my window just now. Sorry. Um. Um. I think it was a cat. So just play up what's not cliched. Make her a non-cliched rebel princess. How awesome would that be? So, what was the original point to all this? Oh yeah. So as it turns out, you always have to take breaks. Um. If you feel like what you're doing is driving you crazy, take a break. But if you're a writer, being lazy never is as bad as it sounds because everything you read or watch on TV, you're getting rating tips. Taking a walk will give you ideas. Just like going to the store, wherever you're doing, you're just absorbing ideas and your own experiences, other characters and people's experiences to put in your own work and make into something later on. So yeah, play games, go to the store, and occasionally do something really big. I don't know what. Go on a trip. It'd be really cool. I need to go on a few trips. Like, later this year, I'm going to camp meeting in Kentucky, I think. So, I have to absorb as much of that and as much of everything else I do. Because I don't want to be like it was in the dream. It was horrible. It was like I was writing constantly, but it was never got anywhere. I was still writing that first story. And oh my gosh, this has gone on for 8 minutes. I thought this was going to be a short one. Okay, so we cut that off. That's my writing tip. That's my word. How was your weekend? Here's hoping for another good week. This is peace, love, pink, signing out.